the 3 maps to separate these 2 lineups, and it will be Team 500 starting over on the CT side of Nuke, because LDLC not looking to waste any time here whatsoever, charging into the ramp room early, chewing on the HEs as a result. Dennyslaw trying to fall back, trying to give himself a new position to work with, but they have had to concede this ramp control, and LDLC now with a little bit of breathing room, started a headshot, peek these corners. Rainwaker up for the first, needs a lot more where that came from, and he taps away for 3. Buys his team all the time in the world, as Amanek and Slobling have got to try and get this bomb down and try and manipulate themselves into some kind of an afterplant here, but Snobling already taking peeks, punished by ships. And at this point, I mean, Amanek, what do you really do? Trying to sneak your way out of decon, see if maybe someone will show you ahead just to try and rip off, but with the only kill on his team so far, he's got a hell of a task ahead of him. Spotted out now as well. They'll start to close that gap. Dennyslaw playing relatively passive, of course, just being a bullet from death. But Ships has got him pinned in on either side. 2 men peeking either corner. Ships looking to make the most of those extra bullets, as well as Amanek desperate to get anything he can, but it's not going to happen. Team 500 take the pistol, and Rainwaker with a little bit of magic to start it off as well. Lovely stuff, this. Just tapping away. This first headshot really critical as well. 1 peek he gets before he has to hit it, and lands it clean, and then repositions a little fortuitously, you will say, out to that left-hand side, as they all come into it with a equal firepower. I was going to say advantage, then I noticed Denny's already managed to get his AWP up, so we're not going to call it that. Handful of AKs. Galil's to back it up, and the Galil's open the account. They've missed the smokes. They don't throw them at all, and it gives Dennyslaw an opening. Able to trade his teammate's death, as Ships on that XM continues to get work done. Rainwaker able to find a nice double on the lower site as well. And these individual anchors still working out well for the CT side. Snobling going to get that bomb down at the very least inside of the smoke to build up a little bit of economy. But Ships continuing to be a pain with that with that XM rather. Snobling grabs at least 1 more before the death of things, but Ships just a roaming nightmare on that XM. Grabs himself a double kill in this round, and a nice little money maker. Grabs an AK as well. 3-0. 500 looking very clean. What will the play be? Passive enough early on. Ships with that XM, of course. The usual spot. The boost up into the vents grabs Divvy a freebie. And this was exactly the round to pull a little bit of magic out your back pocket as well. The boost through vents to heaven to pick off the AWPer, exactly what was needed to start this round. The man advantage for the first time in a long time for LDLC. Now they'll look to leverage it, working the outside control. Split into that lower site seems very likely at this point. Patrick having to hold half a dozen angles at once here. Ships at the very least has recovered the AWP. But as 3 of these T-side players start to pull a silent flank into heaven, the CTs, they have no information on outside at all. They've had nothing since the very start of this round. And as they look to pincer in through heaven, they're surely going to catch players looking completely the wrong way here. Ships inside of the site. They peek out of heaven. Patrick is good for the first reaction. Very fortunate to even get 1. Snobling will put him and Ships down, however. And at this point, this round does feel like it should be falling by the wayside for Team 500. And indeed, as Gravity finds Nicky, that will be the case. Rainwaker, the ramp player, they know exactly where to look for him. And he is just going to be happy to hold on to his M4. A little bit of magic from LDLC to open their account here on Nuke. First round on the board. Once again, Ships once more sticking with that XM. I mean, it's 7-3 at the moment. Doing the job, and if it ain't broke, why fix it? DLC looking for that fast outside control. Gravity legged up very early on in proceedings, and actually caught by the USP of Denny on the fadeaway. Looked like he wanted to fake the same sort of wrap into that upper site initially. Now a man down. Instead, they're working around these outside smokes, throwing them to get garage control. Instead, pushing down into the secret, and it is ships. Once more with the XM. On the corner with a lot to do here. Nobody really in a position for a swift rotation. If ships goes down fast, and he does, this lower site feels like it's very vulnerable indeed. Snobbling with the opening, charging on out. And the CTs are scrambling to recover here. Rainwaker goes 1 for 1. They need more than that, however, and Denny can't provide a clean headshot. Leaves Patrick and Nicky stumbling, trying to work their way silently down the vent. Is not the player. Sitting duck for Divi. As LDLC have their second, they break the economy of Team 500, and suddenly it feels like we've got a game on our hands.
Yeah, apologies, was having some issues, but all smoothed out now, and indeed, despite a strong start from Team 500, LDLC take what is a crucial gun round to likely give them a shot and maybe even time things up. We'll see whether 500 are willing to force the issue here in this next round. With a couple players looking close to a double eco as well, they might consider it. Especially with an M4 being carried over from Nicky. Either way, a strong start from LDLC here on the T side, and it's going to be needed with this being their map choice. Inferno up next. There's a map sure that they can play, but I think it'll lean a little bit heavier towards 500.
After there, as well as the Mac 10's just charging down the ramp, taking that early control, reminiscent of the pistol. We'll see some aggression coming in here and there. Rainwaker has tried to take the lobby, as Nicky's trying to push the issue as well, but he can't quite find his shot. Gravity trace the initial death of one. Rainwaker can't make that recovered AWP sing. With the man advantage at this point, despite two players being tagged down, one very significantly, it should just be a matter of cleaning up these remaining pistols, but it could get ugly yet. Denny and Ships with a headshot apiece to keep their team in this in 2-on-2. Snobbling down on 3 HP as well. This starts to get ugly, but they don't know where Amanek is. And that's going to be their undoing. Denny Store, the high HP player, goes down, leaving just a 16 HP Ships. A recovered rifle in hand, no armor, no kit, no nothing. Do you even start to think about this, or do you, yeah, see that AWP lying so temptingly on the ground and think, I'll have that, thank you very much, and look to scarper your way back down towards the ramp? Not a bad result, you have to say, Dean.
Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunate they couldn't get that extra finish on Snoblin, though. That would have maybe even tempted Chips to give things a go. In the long run, though, probably better that he is going to bring this up over, and in the end, he actually snatches up that kill either way. So the damage done to LDLC is pretty significant. They'll spend a lot of that excess cash now in this following round. Only Nicky here to really say anything about that, and, well, he actually will be gifted a kill there. With Gravity Radar, I think, getting flashed by his own teammate, and then a spam through the smoke to follow up, catches Brooksy. A 5-on-3, no damage even sustained yet from Team 500, so they're in a fantastic position here in the early stages. They are still forced to rotate Patrick down because they're not sure if someone made it through secret or not, but they have the numbers, they have the advantage in that regard, so it shouldn't leave too many holes in the defense.
Legged up Amanek as well. The anchor out towards lobby. Pressure down the ramp, however, will force Patrick to reconsider his angles, and again, this lower site is the target. A 2-on-2 for the time being, and an important fight for Patrick to win. Bomb now looking a very isolated presence in towards control. Divi on that AWP trying to get something going, but with 3-4 players converging on his position, and Amanek really nowhere to be found at the moment. This feels like it is an absolute death sentence. The timings could well decide it at this point. Divi gets his head taken. Nicky with the kill. And yeah, at this point, Amanek, he was in a really rough position, having been legged up so early in the round. Really needed him to be there to give a second prong to that lower sight take. Without it, it looks very tame. And well, veteran showing his experience here. He's got the money. Could have given it a go, but it's a 1v5. You're never going to land it. So keep your hands on the AK. Live to fight another day. Potentially live to drop a little bit more across to your teammates as well.
And a very good round to be picking up. Maybe a little bit of fortune from the second kill there in the initial moments from Nicky, but also LDLC. I think they got a little bit too loose with that attempted flash to push in towards Garage. Gravity and Amanek. So I'd give him one of those AKs for sure. See Brooksy though, he's gonna make his AK count. The shotgun to try follow up. It's good damage. Actually, the trades have managed to go back in favor of 500 just for a moment though, as Gravity, he crashes down on that A bomb site, and with that should confirm them pretty much the bomb plant. Weaponry, it's decent, but with an MP9 in play here as well, it's going to be a very difficult retake for 500.
Not sure how you even begin. Little bit of utility to maybe fashion something, but it's never a fun retake out of heaven onto this A site anyway. They've got no control anywhere else on the map, and well, with the T's now well set into their after plants, it feels like this should be a done deal. Extra AK recovered as well for Amanek. CT's trying to work their way out of heaven, and they're having none of it. Divi and Gravity combine for the kills, and you can see where it leaves Team 500 now. Couple of mollies, couple of smokes, couple of flashes, not a lot else. So as we see LDLC start to work this outside control with a very deep wall of smokes, there's really nothing the CT side can do about it. Dennistor, however, has found himself a gap, and he's got 2 through it. The spray control is good on the A1S. Divi responds, but not in time. And the man advantage now as Ships looks to continue pushing. The issue will be caught though. Amanek expecting it, seen it a few too many times, and the trades continuing to just about scrape by for LDLC. 30 seconds left. They want the lower site, and there's no one home to protect it. It will be heard on the drop, but it will be a bomb plant as well. Time now for this T side to try and hold on. Very nearly caught in transition, but Divi gets away with it, and now Amanek in that close dark position can start to scheme his way into this. One Molotov for Patrick to potentially clear that corner. But it's going to be a game of timing, so well set crossfire for LDLC to try and hold this one down, as now the CT's working their way into the site. Amanek yet to show his hand, yet to swing. Molotov goes in to clear the doors. That'll keep Divi busy, but Patrick's confusing right in the grasp of Amanek, who tucks tail, hides himself deep into the corner, and now with the molly gone, there's nothing to protect Rainwaker. A 1v2, the bomb is almost all the way gone, and LDLC find themselves the round that will break the economy of the CT side.
Yeah, well played with such low health as well. I mean, if that molly went in on Amanek in the back corner instead of towards the doors, even at that point, they probably would have been able to win that retake. A little bit of fortune definitely on their side, but they're just incredibly well played with the timings, and Shy didn't have much of a choice this time around, but even earlier on when he could have got the M4, he was going with it.
It's been working. I don't blame him. The one map where it's really viable.
The 14 though for a while.
Oh, Brooksy with a lethal headshot, and the fast A take off the back of it is just brilliant. 3 quick kills, round is done. I mean, they can give it a go. They'll have to give the retake a go, but if you're Rainwaker and Nicky, how do you even begin to conjure up a retake from this? The nades to chip away a little bit, but a refresh of the smokes makes it all the more difficult. The crossfires are well established. The T side are not giving anything away here. Yet more utility to try and run that bomb clock down. Rainwaker and Nicky forced to wait out both the smokes before they can do anything. And at this point, Nicky's position now known. They'll start to swing. Snobbling gets the first. Snobbling gets them both. They get out of control if Team 500 cannot wrestle their way back into this one. Early utility. Just to fake a drop out of the vents. It's actually drawn 2 players from LDLC already down to meat. It's the bomb. He's going to drop right into the crosshairs. Divi just able to take the head off of one, make it a second before he's traded. And a little bit of misjudgment there, you have to say, from 500, as now that bomb is out on an island. Denny desperate to try and stay alive for as long as he can. If he dies down here, it all goes wrong. Broxy takes the dink on the chin and waits for backup to join him, and there's the trade. 1 for 1. Bomb down in the lower site. And here's the recovery effort. Rainwaker with the first. CT's now scrambling to get into position in the 2-on-2, but potentially leaving that upper site wide open for business. Ships has called it. Right as Gravity and Amanek take lower, the bomb will go out down on upper.
Should give them plenty of time to position for the afterplant as well. Surprisingly, just putting it down here towards heaven, despite not having actual control up there. Could have maybe put it a bit wider for Ships to be able to play off of, although he's just going to find contact immediately with both players. The Glock up close. always has that immediate advantage. Amanek, though, with a trade, did manage to at least bring it back into the one-on-one, but he's unaware that he's been flanked right now. The door was open, and Rainwaker, I like the approach. Let his teammate take the initial contact, sneaks through in behind, and obviously it's not going to be expected, having just cleared out that position. What a crazy round, though. The way it starts out here in towards the vents, the Glocks then just cause chaos down in secret once they get close in person. Wanted to see if he could catch up with Rainwaker, rather, because I can't see why else he would have done that in 2-on-1 with his teammate low. Knowing they're up against the weaker weapons as well. Just play it safe. They would have almost certainly had the round win. They could have just easily at least traded each other. Instead, now their economy has been completely destroyed. They're forcing him with just pistols and mini utility. A little bit more maybe than they thought they would have, but still, it's a chance for LDLC to start running away with a CT lead here.
Ugly buy. Looking for the upper take as well. Utility will come in, as you said, a little bit more than maybe you'd expect. They've got enough for a couple of flashes to maybe get themselves out here. But the Tech-9s are going to have to sing, and they're going to have to work very, very quickly. Trying to wait out this CT utility as well. Hoping that by the time they finally hit this upper site, there won't be many nades left to stop them. Ships and Denny to throw. And away we go. Molotovs through, flashes to follow. Amanek in with an early pick though, and Broxy up close will be traded. Amanek next up, low HP in his divvy, trying to charge into this site, trying to deny that bomb plant. It's a leg and no more. The bomb will go down. They've bought themselves half a chance here. A man advantage. Rifles to be salvaged as well. In amongst the chaos, though, they line up for the P250. And Divvy just about lands the shot. Rainwaker nearly with the 1v3. But it's the last man up on the AWP who lands the critical kill. LDLC have their double digits. The economy starts to buckle again for Team 500. And I mean, this is just the scrappiest of Nuke games, team. With some aggression through these smokes. Spam instead not connecting. This is where it gets a little bit sketchy for this CT side now. They've conceded the outside control. 4 players for Team 500 now working their way in towards Secret. Looking for the off-angle boost, and Amanek gives it to them. Jump peeking for it. Patrick catches the timing. And as LDLC swarm into this lower site, they're not going to be there quite in time. This bomb should go down, but Divvy swinging on it, catches Denny in transition. Buys his team a 4-on-4. That bomb still to be recovered. No utility to get it down. Not that it matters. Rainwaker catches both of the aggressions in towards lobby. And at this point, the CT side, oh, it's all falling apart. They're not clearing their corners. Patrick is punishing every movement. And Divvy, well, he's just trying to hold on to his AWP, or is he? He wants more, and he's got an isolated fight. Divvy finds 3, and there's nobody even close. Rainwaker charging down, has got to swing now if he wants to deny it. Divvy lands the shot. LDLC, they are not making this easy for themselves, but they got their 11th round.
Ace clutch.
3 Galils and a tech to flank it. A little bit of utility. Once again to try and maybe get those outside smokes going in the opening moments. But Gravity, this time, looks like he's playing out towards Africa. The perfect position to potentially shut this one down nice and early. Indeed, he is tucked into this corner. Trigger discipline's going to be everything, but he's checked by Patrick. That's a rifle as well. An extra gun to give to the cause. The man advantage found, and what do you look to do here? It's the same call. Down through Secret, the lower site, the target, and the CTs, they want this action. 2 players now pushing through Secret. It's going to be Brooksy and Amanek trying to use both of those MP9s up close and personal. They need more than one, and they can't land it. Divvy and Snobbling a mile away. The rotation's going to be caught in transition by Rainwaker. And well, Divvy, he wasn't even committing to rotating. He says, I'm not giving you another 1v5. I'm backing out to spawn, as it will be a 10th. And it should be a hunt as well for this AWP from Team 500.
Yeah, I mean, it finally pays off, these force buys, but what a crazy round. Those MP9s, as you said, just not getting enough done in towards Secret, and Divvy this time around not really being there to throw out an ace clutch. This is how the previous round really should have went if not for Divvy.
I love how utterly terrified Team 500 are
Yeah.
right now. They've spent 20 seconds clearing everything as a 3-man set down towards lower
Just in
before they
case.
even risked getting that bomb plant off. They are still shaking from the ace clutch from Divi in the previous.
On the other hand, he's actually just set up camp all the way back in the spawn. Not interested in potentially losing such a valuable weapon when his teammates are going to be likely just stuck to pistols in the following round.
You'd expect it to be hunted
500 are
down here.
hunting. Yeah, I didn't expect it
you'd
to be
expect
Patrick,
it.
though, considering his health.
He's got flashes for Rainwaker potentially to get him into this angle. It's a fairly common one. There's the flashbang, but Divi's up for it with the timing. At this point, just about staying alive, and he's doing a good job of that. 2 quick kills. Now the rifles start to look a little slim for Team 500 as well. And they will have to concede it. So AWP at the very least saved across something to work with. The question is, will it be enough? Because Team 500...
To make it relatively costly, coming in here again, as I mentioned before, with multiple weak weapons, a little bit worse than I expected in terms of firepower, because they really want that utility. We'll see whether that pays off or not, because already the initial kill on outside found by ships, not allowed to cross though, as they didn't put down a second smoke, so Divi did have vision. Even without that op, is able to take the long range kills, so 4-on-4. Normally a position I'd say is favorable for 500, but Nicky's been tagged up pretty heavily, and without any actual control towards outside, they've all just been forced back to the lobby for now.
It's been well read as well by the CT side. Currently 2 players posted for it. Timing of this could be everything, and oh, Denny catches not only the kill, but a tag onto Amanek as well. Brings him down nicely into the one-shot headshot range for these Galils. And again, with the man advantage now there. Starting to try and push the issue, knowing they've got to get something done. Divi will at least trade it, but it's still ascendancy for this T-side. Amanek yet to really pounce, yet to really try something. And, well, Team 500 will just deathball this one out. It's going to be Divi on that ramp. Asked for another clutch. Asked for another big play. He's fired off a couple shots. They're swarming all around him. They try and charge him down. Divi's got one, but immediately the trade is in. At the very least, he manages to dink up Dennyslaw. Buys a little bit of something for Amanek. A HP discrepancy to work with, and Amanek has made his way ahead of the molly. He's caught potentially the only timing he could get, and he's got the kill. The high HP of Rainwaker is gone, and it's all onto the AWP of Dennyslaw. Bomb not planted for him either. Amanek starts to piece this one together. Charging out, he knows where to look, and he rips the head clean off. The run and gun of the MP9 steals away around with limited firepower, and it's around. Scrappy
See if he can do it as well as ships.
It's one of the few maps where that is genuinely viable. Gives you a little bit of a pressure release as well. Only 2,000 as opposed to the 29 or 33 you're looking at for a full-blooded rifle. Again, a scrappy buy from this T side. Denny thinking about swinging this angle with bomb on his back. It would be lethal. Nade goes in to chip away. And again, there's limited utility really for this T side to make a decision, and Divi, knowing it, is being proactive, catches the corner of an arm and ships goes down. The roaming AWP are getting it all done outside with 2 quick kills. Single-handedly decimates the second prong of this offensive, and now Brooksy on that auto shotgun will start to sing. LDLC, they found their feet as Dennyslaw is last man up. Nothing he can do from inside of the hut. It's 13. And a precious 13th as well, as it breaks the economy of Team 500 and gives LDLC finally an opportunity to stabilize.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking like it could be towards the end now for 500. They had put so much effort into those early rounds to get the force buy and eventually win one of them and crack the economy with LDLC. Gotta be slightly frustrated now, stuck on just Glocks, a single P250, likely to concede a 14th round. Giving them just one more true gun round here to try and get back on their feet. Glock causing a bit of damage to Divi, makes him think about re-peeking for sure. It does at least give a bit of ground to Team 500. They get up close and personal, maybe they can overwhelm with those Glocks, but the problem is they run into the one MP9 that's in play. That's perfect for Snoblin though. He's trying building up the bank at the moment, and he should get one more. There it is, an upgrade even over to one of the AKs. Unfortunately, losing a couple teammates in the process though.
Yeah, it was a little more expensive than it should have been, but that pretty much summarizes this whole map so far, so we're not going to think too much into it. And it starts to get towards do or die time now for Team 500. 14-11 down. This will be the last full buy if it goes wrong. Only 2,900 on the loss bonus counter. Few moments, this whole map has just started to get away from them. Need a plan to get back into it. Now it's almost entirely focused on this lobby presence, and Amanek spamming through the smoke will deal with that. Goes down to a single point of health to the counter spam, but that's not to be known by Team 500. That's a man advantage and nothing else. LDLC will take it with open arms, potentially even bog downing that AWP over if they want to. As Team 500 forced to rethink the plan once again.
Looking, I think, to move back and see if they can get some ground, maybe towards outside. Extra smoke here as well. The ships should be able to recover. Amanek so low on health here as well. It's definitely still a very, very hostile position for LDLC despite the man advantage. And well, Divi's only able for one, gets his head caught just as he tries to drop and put himself back towards B. Ravido pushing the smoke, catching one outside. It's just chaos really all over. No one was ready for the full commitment. They do manage to start their rotations, though. It's promised them to hit this A bomb site.
Play from this T side. Leaning into the upper execute. A kitchen sink of utility available. As we wait patiently for the moment. Refresh of the smoke towards the squeak. Might make them rethink things, but they'll just wait it out. Well placed, ready to hit this site, but there's presence, plenty of it as well. Two players playing inside of the site itself. Divi, fast rotation to heaven. Gravity still playing close to these vents, but he ducks down right as they look to pop on out. And it's going to be down to these few rifles. The mollies licking at their feet. There's damage all over the shop. There's two quick kills before there's any kind of a trade. Denny and Rainwaker trying to make something of this. And Rainwaker's got a gap around the edges of his own smokes. He's managed to find one, make it a double on a recovered M4 that may well have saved the day. LDLC Snobling's on a long old flank here, but Rainwaker is already alive to the threat. Watching for the possibility. Will get his head taken off. 1v2 now for Snobling to try and work out. Aggressive hut control taken by Denny Store is going to be a real problem, though. And Ships potentially even able to nab an AWP from heaven. From the corpse of Snobling's fallen teammate Divi makes this all the tougher. Snobling wants the fight, he wants the hut aggression, but Denny Store has slipped the net through to Squeak. The timings are going to be ugly, surely. Snobling gets one, and at this point, the bomb is too far gone. It will be 12. Team 500 will live to fight another day, Dean.
Yeah, unfortunately, if he had a molly or even a smoke he could have put towards heaven, then when he taps the bomb, he likely does actually pull that player out from the door, or even in through hut to take a peek, and could have forced the hand, I suppose, of the terrorists on the afterplant instead. Just didn't really have the time to control. We've already had one player for LDLC. Did he cross in the secret, or is he just in the back of garage? No, sorry, he's in the back of garage. I thought he crossed into upside the stairs. Not quite the case. Not as fast on the control this time around either from 500. Happy to sit back, maybe expecting someone to push up outside again.
Little more respect on each side. Able just to hold off in these initial moments, as you said, Team 500 trying to work their way into that outside control. Leading the utility slowly but surely out of this CT side. Now the wall of smokes goes out, but is the garage player still lying in wait? Gravity, if he can catch half a timing here, he could stop this whole split. It is going to be the upper site. Now the utility comes in. Gravity not quite able to backstab in the way he would have wanted, but Amanek able to react well. Grabs a couple of quick kills. Orpa next up will chip away, however, and Ships finds another, buys his team the man advantage. Divi on a long old flank, but it's already been read by Denny Store. This should be job done, and indeed it is, leaving just Gravity. In a 1v3, he's caught half a timing to get into main. He's got a 1 free kill on his plate, takes that immediately. Knows there's at least an AWPer in towards main, but little does he know, Ships has worked his way out heaven and will have the freebie. 15-13.
5-7, one smoke, actually, that's what they have purchased up in the end. Quick drop down the vent already, and yeah, okay, they basically got control of B already.
Yeah, this is one of those. Round is done. Hamanek will hope that maybe someone wanders into the crosshairs of the 5-7, and there it is. An expensive one to go for it as well, Ships. AWP dropped. There is more players there to try and make sure it's not recovered. Rainwaker working his way deep into spawns. Been spotted. Hamanek might now be able to try and make a play for that AWP. He's managed to dink Rainwaker up as well. Forces him back deeper and deeper. Drops a defensive smoke. They're making this as expensive as they possibly can here, the CT side. Rainwaker, though, will live to fight another day as Patrick takes the final kill, and this is...
Yeah, it's mostly just being the default and then seeing what they can find on the picks, and, well, that looks to be the play once again, with a bit more aggression, though, over towards outside, surprisingly from Ships, because there was another player behind them that could have followed up a little bit easier if he wanted to. I think was maybe focused on the garage, expecting him to force a peek there, but unfortunately it just means Divi gets the opening kill. No chance for a return. Gravity as well, peeking up from Secret, snatches the head, or snatches the kill on Denislav rather. Wasn't quite the headshot either way. A fast kill comes through. He doesn't take any damage from it. And now with a 5-on-3, they can kind of calm things down here on the CT side, try and just make sure they play off of each other. I believe they're aware no one actually fully made it across outside either. They've had eyes on it at all points.
Yeah, well positioned now. Flashes as well to enable further peaks. Team 500. A little bit lost at sea here. No real control. Gonna look to group back in towards the lobby. No picks given up either. LDLC running a tight ship, not giving anything away in this 3-on-5 that they've managed to craft their opposition. It's a tricky old puzzle to break. Gravity playing an off angle down this ramp as well. There is a couple of timings on the board here. Gravity has started to work his way into lower. He'll hear the drop, but not in time. Patrick gets the first. In need of a lot more where that came from, but the utility will come out. The lower site will be taken. And it's going to have to be a retake from this CT side. Snobbling with the only kit. No real utility to get this done either. It's going to be fights across the board that will either make or break this for the CT side. 3 towards the ramp. Make it all 4 as they group up, just hoping to trade this cleanly. They know that's what they've got to do. It's 2 quick kills. Make it a third, surely. Somehow, Nicky alive for a few more seconds. He's taking it on the chin. Desperately low on health, though, and he can't quite hold on. Brooksy on the recovered kit will have enough time to get it done, and it will be 16-14 LDLC by the skin on their...